Hello and welcome to this Food for Thought tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at plants for free. So we're going to be looking at taking soft fruit cuttings and runners from strawberries. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, this is a blueberry bush. So I'm just going to show you. What I'm doing is I'm looking for this year's growth. So this is a new piece of wood here. So I'm just going to take her off. Nice clean cut. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off some of these lower limbs. I'm going to take a little cut here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slanted cut here. That's so that we know which is the top and which is the bottom. I'm just going to take some of these lower branches off the stem. I'm going to leave these few here. I'll leave that leaf on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop that into my rooting compound. Firmer in so that it has good contact with the soil, and that's the two blueberries. There's my label in there so we don't forget. So that's the blueberries, and now we'll just go on to the raspberries. So before I cut the raspberries, I'm just cleaning my secateurs. It's a good practice to have a piece of muslin just impregnated with some surgical spirits. It just stops that cross contamination or any disease going into the wood. Diseases like coral spot would be, because you've got a fresh cut, it's easy to get into the wood. So what I'm doing is I'm looking down for this stem here. It's coming over the path, so I'm just going to take it off bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a straight cut at the bottom next to this node here, and then I'm going to look for about 12 inches, and I'm going to do a slanting cut just so I know which is the top and which is the bottom. I do apologise about the noise there. Again, I'm just taking off these here, and then I'm going to measure my 12 inches again or so, and I'm just going to make a slanting cut. So there I've got two cuttings from the one stem. I'll just take these bottom leaves off again. I'll take any of these fruiting stems off because we want all the energy to go into producing roots rather than fruit. Okay, I'll take these fruit heads off. If you was doing this in the growing season, just reduce the size of your leaves. This stops some it stops the transpiration. Let's get that off. So there we have 3 cuttings. Just pop these into a bit of water, into the rooting hormone. Using my dibber. Firm them in so that they're making good contact with the soil. You can see now why I put the slanting cut at the top and the flat cut at the bottom, so I knew which was the right way up. Okay, I'll just label them. and then we'll move on to the next cuttings. Right, I've moved from the other part of the garden where it's less noisy up here. So what I've done is I've taken some cuttings, so I've got some red currants and some black currants and some gooseberries here. So again, I'll show you. Remember to clean your secateurs with your surgical spirits. Okay, so what I've done, I've taken a flat cut at the bottom. Obviously this is long enough, so I'm not going to take any off the top of that. So I like to dip her into the water just to make sure the rooting hormone sticks. So just going to pop it in the ground, pop her in, and then firm it in so that it's making good contact with the soil there. So I'll just show you again. So what I'm going to do is, I want something that's about 12 inches long cutting, so I'm going to take it off here. I'm going to take these off because I want the energy to go into the producing roots. So I'm just going to wet it with and then firm it in so it's making good contact with the soil. You probably see these white bits in the soil. I should have told you, I mixed the soil with just general purpose compost, and I've added some perlite to it. We've talked about the perlite before. It's just, this is your perlite. What it does is it gives more oxygen because it produces small little air pockets in the soil, which helps the roots to breathe. Okay, so that's our red currants there. I have labelled it, as you can see. Gooseberries, just the same. So what I'm going to do is, these leaves will fall off, but I'll help them along. So again, just be very careful with your gooseberries because they are very sharp. So I'm going to take it off the bottom of a node here, and then I'm going to go for about 12 inches again. So I'll take her off. This looks like a better bud here, so I'm going to take her off here. I'm going to take these off. All these, take these leaves off. They will fall off this time of year anyway because of it being autumn. I'll take these off. I think my secateurs want a sharpening. Just pinch them off. I'll just leave a few on the top there. Just so I don't damage the buds. So again, I'm going to pop it in a bit of water. Don't have to do that. I just find that the rooting hormone sticks to it better. Again, be very careful popping these in because they're very spiky. So here's another one. So again, what I've done is I've picked this year's growth. So I'm just going to take that off at the bottom. I'll take these . Firm it in. Make sure we have a good contact with the soil. So we'll pop that down there. Where have we now? These are the red currants. So again, it's just the same as before. I'm going to take it off at a nice bud. As you can see, this is starting to root there already. Take these off. Like I say, these leaves will fall off anyway, but if we were doing this in the growing season, if you was taking cuttings during the growing season, just trim the leaves so that there's less transpiration in the leaves. Lost my dibber. Again, firm in the soil. Another thing I should have told you, I like to water the soil first. So there's a red currant here. So we'll take it to this one. So, take some of these buds off. Right, so these are all ready for going into either the greenhouse, into a windowsill. Okay, so this is the grape. Okay, I'm going to put these into the greenhouse now, or polytunnel, or if you've got a kitchen window, somewhere where they're going to keep warm, because the frost could damage them. But I'm just going to put some of this vermiculite on the top. All this does is it helps to keep the moisture in, it helps to suppress any weeds, and it also keeps a bit of the heat into the ground. So I'm just going to give them all a dressing on the top. If you haven't got any vermiculite, it doesn't matter, some sharp sand, anything just to keep the moisture in, or to suppress any weeds that will come in there. And now we'll go and look at some strawberries, just while I pop these away. I'm going to show you some strawberry plants and how to get some free strawberry plants. So as you can see here, the strawberries throw out these runners. So you can either peg them down, or as you can see here, these are what I'm calling the runners. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to myself some pot. I've just put some good organic compost here, peat free of course. Just going to make a little hole. I'm going to pop the runner on the just onto the top of the soil, but I'm going to use a bit of a peg just to hold them down, just to hold that runner down into place, just so that it then makes good contact with the soil, and it'll throw down some roots. So you should be able to find a few of your strawberries. I mean, there's another one there, so I'll just pop that pot there. I'll pop that in there. Just move the soil around a little bit. Just pop it in. Pop my pin in, just so it's making good contact with the soil. If you want to just have a look here, this is some that have taken root already. I'll just see if I can just lift them up a little, so you can see. So as you can see there, they've already made their own roots there. So once they've made their own roots, you can just sever this, because they're going to be happy enough to just
do their own thing. You can tend to feel how big they are, and I mean, if you wanted, you could then take this pot to somewhere else, give it to a friend, or plant it into your strawberry bush, or strawberry bed I should say. So that's how easy it is with strawberries, and as you can see, there is plenty of runners. You know, maybe I'll pop that one into there. We've got so as long as they're making contact with the soil, they'll do their own thing, and there you get free plants. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at the TCV or Food for Thought.